Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Ask for a resolution to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Evelyn, second by Ron. Any, changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item. Okay, 3-1, request to discuss, to be discussed by Human Resources Director. She's not here yet, so we'll go to her later. Second is a referral from the Criminal Justice, DA's office, request to amend resolution numbers 493 and 494 of 2014 to specify an hourly rate of $24.81 for a part-time investigator number 4, not to exceed 20 hours a week. Prior resolution indicated that the annual salary would be $20,642, but didn't clarify the hourly rate. Resolution by Matt, seconded by Matt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. On to Westmount. 3B is request to amend the table of organization to create and fill a new position of leisure time activity aide number 3, grade 3, annual base salary of $24,699, and to delete the leisure time activity aide number 2, part-time position effective November 24th, 2014. This is a non-mandated union position for which 53% state reimbursement will be received.
Mr. Chairman, can we do 3A next?
Hold on. What?
3A.
We did? Oh, all right. So we'll go back and catch that later. All right, so we moved by Matt Sokol, seconded by Evelyn. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, back to Public Health. WIC, the request to amend the table of organization to create and fill a new position of public health educator part-time, not to exceed 24 hours a week, grade 14, annual salary of $36,093, prorated to $21,653, effective retroactive to October 1st, 2014. This is non-mandated union position, which will be completely state-funded under the WIC program. Moved by Evelyn, seconded by Matt Simpson. Any discussion on this one? Ron?
Seeing as how WIC's moving, is the staff gonna follow the move, do you know, or is this?
As I understand it, and you know, do you want to address this?
This is just for this year. It was for a special project that was created by, they released the unallocated line of funding for this, and the position was being filled by a per diem person that was up to 20 hours, but because it's gonna go to 24 hours, it needs to be classified as part-time according to.
But to answer his question, that if it happens, or when it happens, the staff will move, won't
Oh,
they?
yeah, that part hasn't changed.
Yeah, okay. All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, back on schedule again. 4, Office of Emergency Services, a request to amend the table of organization to reclassify the existing account clerk position, grade 4, base salary of $28,168, to an office specialist, grade 7, annual salary of $32,338, effective January 1st, 2015. Moved by Bill Kenny, seconded by Gene Merlino. Any discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 5, A is a request, these are all items to be discussed by the administrator, who is not here now. The next thing is the vacancies filled. Any questions on any of those? Okay, so we're at a standstill, and we don't have Gretchen, and we don't have Paul, and they're up for discussions here. I hear Paul. They both out there?
Yeah, he'll be ready.
Okay. All right, you're on deck, Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize, we're having a very busy morning here today. The first provision here concerning extension of a compensatory time provision in the collective bargaining agreement, one of the things that we had negotiated with the union was to allow, instead of paying overtime, allow employees to save up the time that they worked over, like in DPW. If they worked over in a snowstorm, they would not necessarily have to be paid overtime. They could if they wanted to be, but they could also, through voluntary agreement with management, both management and employees agreeing, save that time. The condition in the union agreement was, though, that it could never be carried over from year to year. It had to be, we had to clear it out. They had to either use it or we pay it during the, at the end of the year. I surveyed departments. Departments have generally said that, well, some of them don't use it, but others that do have found the program working. I also, by coincidence, got contacted by the union and asked if the county was going to extend this again. The contract had a sunset clause for the end of this year because we didn't know, as a first time out of the box, we didn't know how it was going to work, and we wanted to make sure that there weren't unforeseen difficulties with this particular program. But since it has been working, my recommendation would be that we do continue it through the end of the term of the contract, which is 2016. So that would mean we would continue it in 2015 and 2016. One thing I would stress is under this program, the county doesn't lose, because if the county did not have this program, we would be definitely paying overtime money, whereas, like especially in DPW, if they take the time during times when we don't need to have the employee there because of a slow time or whatever, and usually in between seasons, when they can't really be doing a lot of paving and they can't be doing, they're not snow plowing yet, that provides some opportunity. So as a result, I think that's where it works for the county. We still have to pay time and a half in terms of if they work overtime, we would pay time and a half. If they choose to take the time, it's time and a half. So it works out the same, except that one gives us a slight financial advantage. It gives the employees the advantage of being able to have a little bit more time off if that's their choice. It seems, like I say, it seems to be working for both the departments and the employees. So I would recommend, but it's up to this board as far as whether you extend it or not, but I would recommend extension.
While you were talking there, I'm thinking, wouldn't the seasonality of snow plowing really make it hard to take it in the current year?
It does near the end of the year, yes. If the weather conditions are such, we have had, had to pay it out. But that's why we did that, so we wouldn't upset the yearly budget. And it's not like they earn more overtime. It's overtime we would have always paid. It just provides another way of us paying it out that's at essentially no cost to us. But if it can't work out, if the employee can't take the time for whatever reason, and if management says no, then we just simply pay out the cash. And that's why we have it clear at the end of each year, because we didn't want a situation where we had these huge amounts of overtime accruing over 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden, employee retires and we have a huge cash out problem. So it stays within the same fiscal year budget, which is why I think it's working as far as the finances go.
Is it something you want moved today, or?
If you would, yes, although we do have time, you can wait another month too if you want to review it further.
Well, we've got a resolution on the floor, seconded by Gene. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, on to Tri-City Foods.
These are both, actually B and C are both food programs that have gotten started in the county. Tri-City Food Co-op was something that we started with the Health Services Department, and it was an experiment to see whether or not it would work in that department. Pat Hour tells me it has worked. They would like to continue the program. The Juniper Hill Farm program, Farm to Desk, was a wider program done with the union, or actually not the union, I'm sorry, the Wellness Committee. That has also been working. There's been no real issues or problems. And so here again, these were programs that were designed to expire at the end of this year if they were causing the county problems, if you will, or, and there was any number of issues that we thought of that might be problems, such as, well, what if people don't pick up food? What if there's too much employee time being wasted on this and things of that nature? None of that has come to pass, and it seems like these programs are working well. obviously is particularly the Juniper Farm Hill program, Farm to Desk program, is really all part of, tied in with the Wellness Committee and trying to support wellness among employees. I think that the wellness program overall is, works with our health insurance program to help keep cost down in the health insurance arena. As you know, we've had a very low increase in health insurance this year. Your insurance agents, and I will tell you the same thing, we cannot say definitively that the wellness program was part of that reason, but it makes sense that if we're encouraging a wellness committee, wellness programs, and we do things that facilitate those wellness things, such as this Farm to Desk program, that all of it kind of comes together to get our employees into this wellness frame of mind. And if they're taking better care of themselves, obviously the impact on our health insurance theoretically should be less. Is there absolute hard proof on that? No, but I can tell you a number of governments around the United States have implemented wellness programs, and I think here again, this is not the wellness program per se, but it's a facilitator, a helpful tool in that program. So I would be recommending continuation of both of those programs. The health department, I'm not advocating expanding that. One of the things we talked about was trying to expand it beyond the health department to the other agencies of the county. At this point, I would like to recommend we just go one more year to see if that really is going to be as good and work continuously as we thought it would, and then maybe we can talk about expanding it. But quite frankly, I wouldn't even know right now how to expand that program to the rest of the county departments. That one's a little bit more complicated. So that's why I'm recommending we just stay with that to learn maybe a little bit more about it during this next year.
Okay, somebody wanna move B and C? Matt? Seconded by Evelyn. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, Gretchen, you wanna report on the tracking of salary applications, positions filled?
Good morning, everyone. We went back and Supervisor Taylor had asked for us to go back to previous months. We started to do a tracking of intent, of our notice to intent to fill. It actually was a new form that came out in July, and so we were providing you with information every month with the vacancies and then who filled those vacancies. We're also providing you with information comparing what the incumbent salary was when they vacated the position, and then what the salary was for the folks that were hired to fill those positions. And so you can see, we went back from July and we went to all of the Personnel Committee agendas from January. Actions were taken in February for all the positions. And so you can see the list. We have filled many of those positions, but when you finish up and do the math at the end of the sequence, you can see that with turnover in these positions, that the county has seen a savings of $235,427 as a result of the turnover. And so, that obviously has to do with people being in positions for long periods of time, so they would be at much higher steps in our salary or compensation grades. And so as a result of that, the turnover has actually saved the county some money. That also doesn't reflect the savings of having positions vacant for a few months at a time. So once somebody vacates a position, sometimes it takes a little while to fill those positions, and as a result of that, those positions may be open for a few months at a time, but it's very hard to reflect that in a report like this. But for purposes of tracking, we can denote that from February of this year until some of the current openings we have, it's been a $235,000 savings.
Thank you. Any questions?
The other question I have, Supervisor Taylor, we will finish this for until the end of 2014. Would you like this report to continue in 2015?
It would make sense. What's the committee feel? Generally, yes. Yes.
Okay. That'll be a permanent part of our report. Thank you.
All right, we got a gift for you this morning. We're gonna have a little executive session. Paul, would you word a resolution to go into session?
Sure, and then the county attorney can correct me if I misstate, but I believe the purposes of this executive session would be to discuss the employment history and work performance of particular employees within, do we have to give the department? I guess we have to give the department within the HR Civil Service Department.
Okay. Moved by Matt Sokol, seconded by Matt Simpson. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Where you at?
Okay, we're back in regular session. No action was taken in executive session. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Matt Simpson, seconded by Dennis. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.